My grandmother leads a very insular life. Her name is Vinka, she's 92 years old, and she's lived at the center of Belgrade in apartment 19 for 40-odd years. My name is Christiana Bodic, and a few months ago I decided to leave my life in New York and to pick up and move to Serbia. I did this partially because I was in need of a new adventure, partially because I was really interested in learning the language and having a conversation with my grandmother, who speaks almost no English, for the first time in my life. It also had a lot to do with wanting to make a film. I knew from the onset that I wanted to make a film. I just wasn't sure what I wanted it to be about. I did know that I was ready to experiment with a more observational style than I'd used in my previous documentary projects. And I also was ready to make something that was really personal. Not just something that was precious to me, but also a story that I felt that only I could tell. When I got here and saw how my grandmother was living in the middle of this capital city alone, and when I started to not only understand her words, but who she really is, I realized that hers was the story I was brought here to tell. My grandmother's life relies heavily on rituals. She wakes up at the same time, eats the same foods, reads the same newspaper, and calls the same people day in and day out. And her phone calls and her visitors who come with groceries and leave with their trash, they all allow her to feel like she exists beyond this apartment, that she never leaves. You know, that she has a connection outside of it. Her story is important. My grandmother's story is about the family we keep. It's about growing old. It's about the routines and the spaces that we curate and create for ourselves in order to feel safe. And ultimately, it's about resilience. The resilience of this one woman who happens to be someone who I love very much. Now, I love and believe in this project, and I am so ready to do this work. And I'm also really ready to be a part of a community like this, a community that your donations help to create and sustain. A community of people who care just as much about the process of creating a portrait or telling a story as they do about the final product. I've invested a lot of my own time and money in this project. And I know that that's not going to stop anytime soon, but I also know that I need help and that there's a lot of work left to be done, including putting together an awesome post-production team to get the film ready to be screened at festivals. That's where you guys come in. I am looking for stakeholders, for partners, co-artists, and co-producers, for people who believe in telling stories like this and who aren't afraid to back up independent artists. Honestly, I couldn't think of a better team than all of you. The people who I love and the people who know and love them. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn about Vinka Apartment 19, and thank you so much for your donations. If you're still not convinced,
Sada dajte vaš prilog i zovite vašu baku. Finito, jel?
Finito. Hvala.
O...